So welcome guys to my review of Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, I'm reviewing a game. I don't do this often, so be aware that I might be terrible. I have no idea. Also, a big thank you to PlayStation who sent me a code for the game really early. Also, Let's Play will be starting on the 16th of July, so very, very soon. So come back for that. Part 1, I've already finished it. It's all been recorded, edited, ready to go. Anyway, let's stop plugging my other stuff and let's talk about Ghost of Tsushima. So, we finally have a good samurai game. Actually feels a bit like Assassin's Creed going to Japan, which I've always wanted. That is a massive positive. And yeah, I want to start it off by just saying it's a very good game. A very good game indeed. And just, I want to also almost clap PlayStation for how incredible their exclusives have been on the PS4. And they're ending the PS4 cycle so strongly. It is unreal. One of the best games of all time. The Last of Us Part 2, and now Ghost of Tsushima. Incredible set of games to finish off the PS4 era. So how can you play Ghost of Tsushima? Good question. So on the PS4 Pro, you have a frame rate mode. So 1080p, 60 FPS. Felt pretty smooth to me. A few hiccups here and there, but still. You've got a high fidelity mode, so 4K, beautiful graphics, lovely. And then you come to how you actually experience the game. You can play it with an English mode, subtitles on or off. You can play with Japanese voices. The whole game in Japanese. It's so authentic, so cool. But I must admit, I'm not great at reading subtitles really quickly, so I just found it a bit hard to follow. But of course you guys can play in Japanese and it's so cool.
俺はこの命を捨てる。船が海を覆っている。死を恐れるな。飲み込まれるぞ。習わし。武勇。誉れ。それが我らが道だ。我らこそ島の勇士。
Also, you can play the whole game in black and white, like an old samurai film. It's so authentic, it's epic. Nostalgia is on another level, and it looks so pretty in black and white.
船が海を覆っている。死を恐れるな。飲み込まれるぞ。習わし。武勇。誉れ。
So yeah, many ways to play the game. You guys can decide, I guess. I guess it also opens up for optional second playthroughs as well. And as far as I could tell, there's no New Game Plus. So please add that in. So let's touch on the story a tiny bit. If you guys want to avoid this completely, I will leave a timestamp in the description below or somewhere on the video. I'm not going to talk about too many spoilers, of course. Just the first part of the game, the sort of main story beats, and that is it. So don't worry too much. So you play a samurai called Jin Sakai. You are the last of the Sakai clan, and the Mongols have attacked Japan. It's their first ever invasion, and they have attacked the island of Tsushima. It doesn't go quite to plan, I won't touch on it too much, but you meet Total Khan, who's your main nemesis in the game. But Jin soon realizes the Mongols do not have any morals, they will fight dirty, and as a samurai, you fight with honor. You stand in front of your foe with honor, and it just doesn't work. So he has to go against his morals, against the code of the samurai, and he has to go a bit stealthy. Has to turn into the ghost. And throughout the game, you have this inner conflict. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going away from my samurai ways? Is this the right thing to be doing right now? And yet have that constant conflict. About Jin, he did feel a bit one-dimensional in terms of how he deploys his dialogue, how he just seems to have this inner conflict throughout the whole game, and he just seems a bit angry as well. So it was quite hard to sort of relate to him, I guess. And in your quest for revenge, you continue from the very bottom of the map and you progress as the map unlocks. So there's 3 separate parts to the map, and eventually you obviously unlock all of it. The map is very, very big. It is a massive map. It did sometimes feel a little bit samey in terms of the buildings, the scenery, but it was a very pretty game. There's so many moments in that game where I'm on horseback and I'm looking around, the leaves are flowing, flying everywhere. the music kicks in, and I was just like, wow, I am relaxed right now. I feel good. I feel like I'm in the middle of a samurai film. I feel like I've been teleported 200 years back to that point in Japan. It felt good. This sounds like a really lame, like, petty excuse to moan. But anyway, so the game was constantly windy. It had that wind. You probably watched some gameplay already, and it's just always windy. It is on an island, so it does make a little bit of sense, I guess. But navigation is also done with the wind. So to get to a certain destination, if you set like a tracker or a point of interest on your map, the wind will guide you from the beginning of the game to the ending. So about 20 hours, I was constantly swiping up on the touchpad to activate the wind to guide me. It just got a little bit repetitive, and I just wanted to be pointed in the right direction without having to use the wind. I don't know, it's a bit of a petty excuse to moan, but anyway. So in the game, you have a lot of reasons to explore, to find collectibles, stuff like that. So when it came to climbing or descending down a cliff or a mountain, it was a bit odd. You have to select a pre-select area to climb down. So it's not really like Assassin's Creed where you can just climb whatever you see in front of you. Only pre-selects small areas you can climb. It sounds really, again, really petty, but it felt like a maybe almost like a PS2 game in that sense, where you can only climb particular areas, highlighted areas, and that was it. Which is, I know, again, a bit of a petty reason to moan, but that's just something I noticed. And there's a bit of a bugbear, because I was like, I want to go down there. That's an objective down there. And then I couldn't find the area where I could go down and descend to the area. Anyway. So let's talk about the upgrades. For me, an open world game, a long game, I need a good upgrade, a good amount of skills. And this game has those skills. I was always so excited about every skill point I got in the game, and that's a really good sign for me. So the main set of upgrades are based on your stances. So for example, you have the wind stance, which is good against swords. So if your opponent has a sword, whip out to that stance, and you can quickly change it on the fly. You have a shield stance, you have a spear stance, and you've got a brute stance. So that's the big guys. So you unlock these stances by taking down leaders, so at camps or during the story. And then you have deflection and evasion. So deflection is about parrying. Parrying is so important. Like Assassin's Creed, like other games, parrying is essential. Absolutely essential. Also, against spears, they tend to lunge a lot, so you have to dodge. So that is where evasion comes in. I actually didn't touch evasion much at the beginning, which I definitely regret, because spears are such a nuisance. You have to dodge, you have to be quick on the circle button. Also, you have the ability to improve your equipment, so the smoke bombs, the throwing knives. Again, I was always so invested. Every time I got a skill point, I spent it straight away, and that was really good. And you instantly felt the impact as well. Even if it was something as simple as being able to throw more throwing knives, you knew that was going to be important. Right, let's enter my favourite part of the game, and this is the gameplay. I've always wanted a Japanese sort of Assassin's Creed game, and man did we get that. The gameplay is addictive and fun. It's one of those games where if you nail combat, if you nail a parry, and you take down a whole unit of enemies, you feel so satisfied. You feel so good. Right, so as an example, we're going to use a camp. Just a general camp. You can take these camps back from the mongrels and you get a few benefits, like supplies and materials where you can craft and so on. Anyway, so the first option, you walk in as a samurai, full of honor, and you go, bring out your best warrior. And you do a showdown. But is it cool? Have I just made that up, a showdown? I might have just got that completely wrong. Basically an encounter. You hold triangle, you have to release it. As soon as they lunge towards you, dead. Instant death. It feels so satisfying. Eventually, you can upgrade it. Again, the upgrades are so good in this game. So you can take out 3 targets. So the first one, and then you just attack the next one. The next one, and they're instantly dead. Obviously, thins the herd a little bit as well. With a particular suit of armor, I could take down 4 enemies, I believe. Obviously, you can just charge in as a samurai, head on, full of honor, and you can take them on. Take me on, why not? Just fire. You can do that. Completely up to you. Or you can go ghost. Stealthy, stealthy ghost. So you got particular armor which does help with stealth. Also, you can go into the foliage. You can crawl through little cracks in the wall, pressing the right trigger, or crawl into tents. Did find the stealth pretty awkward. Also, I did notice a few bugs with the AI, where they go around in like a circle and you just could not get past them. Stealth is tricky, but again, if you can nail it, the stealth assassinations are brutal and they're very useful. What I tended to do was I took out a few units first with stealth, being as a ghost, and then I went, let's fight. Let's do it. Because the fighting is so much fun in this game. It's so satisfying, the combat. If I went pure stealth, I'd feel like I've sort of missed out. That's honestly how I felt. The gameplay, for me, was incredible. I'm sure people would disagree, but for me it's one of the best aspects of the game. Bit random, but I also like how you heal up in this game. So in the game, you have resolve. You get resolve by doing parries, attacking enemies, but he just like hits his chest with this like inner determination to win. And this was really cool. I don't like the whole like, let's get a bandage out, let's use some medication. It's just like, and he just keeps fighting. He does not want to give up. And that's definitely how Jin is. He will never, ever give up. The beginning of the game, he gets battered, and he comes back fighting every time. And then we come to the jewels. So jewels can be found in the open world. You will take on a boss, a villain. And I must admit, this is where I got a little bit angry. There was one particular encounter. I was like, what the hell? What do I do to beat this guy? This guy's impossible. So a massive like difficulty spike. It must have took me 20, 25 attempts, maybe 20 attempts. It was impossible. It was so difficult. I just, yeah. He had this particular attack. I'm not going to go into who it was or what it was, but he had this one attack that I just could not deflect against or defend against. It was impossible. And that did make me rage a tiny bit. I got a little bit angry. Luckily in the Let's Play, it looks like I did it first time, but believe me, I didn't. Definitely did not. So I wanted to touch on exploration, some of the side stuff you can do. It sounds really weird, but I love cutting bamboo. I'll show some gameplay. It's so much fun. So basically, you got to hit like a combo of buttons incredibly quickly. I'm talking mega quick, like and it's pretty satisfying just chopping that bamboo. If you do it first time, felt good. You can follow foxes. They take you to shrines, which give you basically charm slots. So there's charms you can get throughout the game. They give you like minor benefits, but again, useful to do. Shrines you can go to, they give you the charms. You also get random jewels as well in the open world. So you see this person just standing there in a circle arena, and you're like, oh, you fancy it, do you? And they're actually quite tricky. So yeah, be ready for that. Be ready for jewels. Also in the jewels, just want to mention, you can't use throwing knives, you can't use smoke bombs. You have to just fight. It's one-on-one, full honor, man to man. Let's fight. Show life. Hot springs, where you can see Jin's bare bottom, if you want to. Again, he just reflects on what's happening in the story. Just chills. It's a nice chance to just, yeah, take it in. Think about what's happening in the game. Think about life. Just take in the game. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers all the bases I wanted to cover in this review. I'm not a reviewer, so I do find it hard to score a game. Honestly, I'm thinking 8.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 9. I enjoyed the game that much. I know I sounded quite negative. Every time I do a review, I just seem to just focus on the negatives. Believe me, the gameplay, the story is definitely good enough for me as well. It kept me going through the 3 sections of the map. And I kept wanting to play. Like, I was hooked. I wanted to see what happens. And the ending is one of the endings where I just won't forget it. I won't ever forget it. It's one of those, yeah, it still hits me now. Like, wow. Yeah, it's a really strong ending, and I recommend this game. I can recommend it. It gets game rights approval. Damn, it's got a stamp of approval. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Again, my Let's Play will be out. I've recorded all the parts already. They've been edited. They're ready to go. All they need is people to watch them. So yeah, see you guys soon for that. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.